Welcome to RVing in New England, the nation's only forum that puts you on stage with some of the biggest names in the RV industry. And now your hosts, John DePietro and Bob Zagami.
Whoops.
And now your hosts, John DePietro and
Now your hosts.
What do they do?
Well, we're hiding behind the sign, everyone.
I'm behind the sign. Now we got to find the sign to take it off.
If you're listening, we are behind the sign.
There we are.
We're not behind the times. We're behind the signs.
Find the sign to take it off.
And a special loaded
On my.
a special loaded.
I'm hearing the echo because I was watching to see if it's coming up on the other side. So it's Wednesday night, 7:00. I got my bottle of water because I can't drink the other stuff tonight. So you just got back from a nice trip.
Yeah, we were there. We were just getting back a week ago right now, right about this time, 7:00. We landed, I think, at 7:07. It took an hour to get our luggage.
Yep.
And we were beat. My wife has been sick since she got back with a cold and flu and whatever. I got the sniffles coming on, but you know what? It was a great trip. And the thing is this, we talk a lot about the difference between RVing and flying and the hassles of the airports and that type of thing. And I'm firmly convinced that if your trip is under 4 hours driving, that you're better off taking the RV. But that's difficult when you're talking about going to Europe. But Bob, the thing I'm finding is that more and more people, and maybe there's some people in our audience tonight, are flying to Europe and then renting an RV or getting involved in a caravan. And
yeah, very, very popular over there. Almost as popular as it is here. Both. Now, the interesting part is here in the States, we're running 80 to 85% towables and 15, 20% on motorhomes. And it's just the reverse in Europe, about 80% motorhomes and only 15 or 20% that are actually towables.
Yeah, because the cars are so small over there.
Right. Now, you sent me back a clip. Your DePietro, is this your DePietro consumer tip?
It's my consumer tip about don't buy new shoes. Here's the thing.
I'll run it. Let me run it.
Hey, here's a little tip for you if you're coming to Rome. Anywhere in Italy, you're going to do a ton of walking. So number one, do not buy new shoes and then come to Italy because your feet will be hurting. So keep in mind one thing. Leather shoes are pretty much not seen anywhere in Italy anymore. Everybody's got some form of sneakers on. So buy shoes, wear them for a week or two at home before you even consider getting on that plane. You're going to Italy. The cobblestone streets will destroy your feet. There's a little travel tip for you before you head to Italy.
The gist of that whole thing is, as I started to say before we played the tape, most of Europe, especially Italy, it's not really accessible for anybody with a mobility disability. And, cobblestone streets are not flat level areas where even in a wheelchair, I mean, you could not do Rome in a wheelchair. You just couldn't do it.
All right. So tonight we're talking all about Normandy Farms, family camping.
All about.
So the best person that we have to talk about it is Marcia Galvin, Director of Human Resources. Well, you don't like that glare on the glasses, huh?
Yeah, we'll take that. We'll take them off. Put them aside.
Marcia looks younger. Every year we see Marcia, we have her on. She looks younger every year, and she's a grandma. How many times grandmother? Once.
Once, but we have another one on its way.
And how old is number one?
She's 3.
3.
Yeah.
Cool. Isn't it special?
She's awesome. It's awesome. Tuesday's my Grammy day.
Have you put her to work yet at the park?
Oh, of course. She picks up paper, like playground. She'll go pick up all the paper in the playground before she plays.
That's good.
Whenever we talk about Normandy Farms, we always talk about the award-winning campground. No matter who has a ranking of campgrounds, you're always up there in the top 1, 2, or 3. Sometimes you're at the top. And I understand you just got back from the Ojai convention and you added another trophy to the cabinet. Here's Marcia on the left, Christine on the right, and her mother Doris, and Al, her father. Talk a little bit about the latest and greatest award.
Yeah, this award, we've won a couple in this past year, but this one is really special because it's an award that goes through our industry and it's all peer judged. And we only apply for the award once every 10 years. So we applied and won in 85, 95, 2005, 2015, and now 2025. And so it's a big deal. It really sets our bar to like, are we progressing? Are we innovating? Are we getting better? So it's.
Do they only give it out every 5 years, or you just decide you want to give some other people a chance to win, and you'll come back every 10 years and take your trophy back? Now, do you have a whole trophy room in the main building or anything? What do you do with all the hardware?
Well, we have it displayed in the office, so guests can see it. We've got a few things up in the recreation lodge, posted, and so yeah, we proudly display our stuff right in the office.
So what did you do to win this year?
So this year's theme was on innovation. And so they were looking for ways that our campground has innovated. And basically we talked about how in 1759, our ancestors came over and had this piece of property that we had to innovate to become a campground. And then a lot of the just different innovations that we've done over the years, and especially lately at the park. So that's kind of was the theme for the awards this year.
What was the title of the award?
So, and we're a large park. So there were, other categories like small park of the year, medium, large, and mega. So they gave it out to 4 parks, depending on their size.
Marcia, let me ask you this question. When you win that award, does it make it more difficult the next year to live up to the accolades that you got the prior year?
No, because you know what? We don't even really think about it. I mean, yes, it's wonderful to win awards, and it really like helps us figure out where we are in the whole outdoor industry. But then we put it aside and we just go on with everything that we're doing.
You're doing your thing.
Just doing our thing.
Yep.
You talked about 1759, and I had a chance to do an interview with your father today. So I'm on that first because he kind of goes into the history.
Bob was there in 1759.
I was milking the cows in 1759.
Yep.
All right, I'm with Al Daniels, one of the owners of Normandy Farms Family Camping Resort. And Al, thank you very much for taking the time. I know you guys are busy. People think, well, they're busy during the year when the campground's open, but when those doors close, you stay busy and renovating. Give us a little bit about your background when you got involved with the family. Now, I understand that Christine and Marcia are 8th generation.
That's correct. Yeah.
So that would make you 7th generation.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Go all the way back. Go all the way back to 1759. And give us a quick overview.
Okay. Yeah, the families own the property, as you said, since 1759, and I think that's one of the motivations for the generations since to keep the land in the family. So I'm really happy that the next generation has taken over and is running things really well. But it all started as a farm for all those years. Since 1759, it was a farming operation. I farmed when my father was farming, and together we had poultry and 400 head of sheep. We had a real modern operation at that time. It was innovative for farming. We had to harvest a silo and automated feed operation for the sheep. The poultry, we had all different sorts, whether it was fryers or layers. We had eggs at one point when I was younger. And before my time involved, we had laying eggs, and my mother used to grate all the eggs and package the eggs, and we would ship them to various restaurants in the area. I, of course, grew up in the business and enjoyed farming. I used to try to play a little hooky from school so I could enjoy the farm and be active. School wasn't my thing, so but yeah. So then I got involved with the 4-H project, and that's how we got into the sheep because my dad had the poultry, and I had sheep and showed them in 4-H. And little by little, we grew it up to the 400 head of sheep and used that primarily for meat at the Greek and Armenian Easter. Is a delicacy, and that's where we sold the young lambs. We did have some research from some of the Boston hospitals where we would send some of the older mutton, what they would call mutton, for the research. We actually, whoops, sorry, I gotta shut my phone off.
That's allowed.
Sorry about that.
Now, when
Come on, get off. Yeesh. I guess it's off. Sorry about that. That's kind of goofy up.
That's right. Now, how did you get into the campground? Were you the first
Well,
person?
that's what happened as a way of subsidizing the farm. You know, we had a lot of land. A lot of it wasn't usable for production of hay or silage for the sheep. So we started off with about 50 sites, just thinking it would be a subsidy and hopefully keep the farm going for another generation. A couple of the things we did that was a little bit unique at the time. We had a real modern restroom and a good sized swimming pool, and that was about the only amenities we had. But I think timing was in our favor. It was in the late 60s, early 70s, and people were really getting into camping, the lifestyle. So the uniqueness of the nice modern restroom, which kind of attracted the women because it wasn't a block building or a plywood wall. It was all a fancy finish inside. So that kind of bode well with the women. And then we had the nice pool. My wife did a lot of the activities, and back then activities were pretty rudimentary in comparison today. What we do, it was you look back, but you know everybody was starting in the industry back then, the mid to late 60s and early 70s in our part of the country that a lot of the parks started. So everybody was kind of at the same starting point as far as learning what was involved in camping, amenities, and what the public wanted. So, and then it wasn't that long after about 1975 that we were really more involved in the camp business, and we started adding more amenities. We added a good size recreation building that was about 20,000 square feet, which had an indoor pool, which was really ahead of its time for back in that time. And so from there, things just jumped off, and we just kept building more sites and adding more amenities. And we're kind of where we are today, where the kids have been able to take over the business, which we really appreciate. And
It's
hopefully we can find
amazing.
another generation after them.
It's an amazing story to see where you are. Probably one of the top 2 or 3 campgrounds in the country. All kinds of awards and recognition, and people come from all over the world to be at Normandy Farms. And I was impressed when I interviewed Christine this morning to find out that 70% of your customers are returning customers, and that's amazing for any business. But for a campground, it's kind of unique because sometimes you go one time and you never go back because you want to see a lot of other places. But you certainly are the destination campground in, one of the best in the country. So congratulations on what you built. How, do- it may be a silly question, but how does it make you feel when you look at the history of the farm and the initial starting with 50 cabins? And look at where Normandy Farms is today with you and Doris and Marcia's there, Christine's there, and multiple generations, I'm sure, are there. But how does it make you feel, Al?
Yeah, it's amazing, really. Sometimes I look back and those 50 sites you mentioned, we had sheep going grazing right up into where the sites were back then. And you look at some of the old pictures and you kind of shake your head now and say, gee, I wonder why people came. It was pretty rustic back then with not many amenities. So,
But it was
yeah,
rustic, but you were still ahead of the pack. You
yeah,
you,
we
you
were.
always were a step ahead of what others are doing. You led
Yeah,
the
we were.
way.
Well, our goal was to be able to do the best we could. It wasn't a case of necessarily making, a huge profit because we've plowed all the money back for years and years, and we still do, to try to get the best amenities. And that has bode us well because people appreciate that. They've often said, gee whiz, you guys spend a lot of money improving the park. Every year they come back, oh, what's the new thing that you developed? And I think that in itself is your best marketing tool, the word of mouth, and
Sure.
give them a good product and they'll come back. Like you said, 70%.
Yeah, that's amazing. Al, I want to thank you very much for taking time so that we could show this to our fans tonight. Continued success down there, and maybe I'll see you when you come down to Florida.
Very good. All right. Thanks for having me, Bob.
Okay, take
All
care.
right. Take
Bye.
care. Bye now.
What? All right, I'm with Al Daniels, one of the owners of Normandy Farms Family Camping Resort.
He knows his stuff, Marcia.
Oh, he eats, lives, and breathes it.
He's got that history, so it's really from a campground perspective, 25, 70, about 50, 60 years.
50,
54.
yeah. 54.
54, yeah, from that perspective. But
almost as old as you, DePietro.
yeah.
Just think about it. They went from 400 sheep to 400 campsites.
Yeah. I never thought of that.
What's
See?
the number on sites now?
It's still at 400.
400, okay.
Yeah.
Is there much more area there that you have that you can expand?
No, not really. We've got a pretty good buffer that goes around the park, and we don't want to, interrupt that. We're not going to be adding any more sites. Anything that we're adding now is just to upgrade what we've got. We're adding new cabins and upgrading some utilities on the tent sites and things like that.
Where are you building the cabins, Marcia?
So we're putting cabins where we had our pop-up rentals. 3 cabins we're getting. They're A-frame style. They're gorgeous. And they'll be ready next season. Yeah, there they are. So yeah, we're getting 3 of them.
Are you building them on site, or are they coming in on a truck?
No, they're coming in from a company that we just met when we were down in Kentucky. Great outdoor cottages out of Delaware, and they're beautiful. It still has the feel of camping, but it has a little bit of a modern feel, which is exactly what we're looking for.
Look at that kitchen,
Right?
Yep.
Are those in the $300 a night range?
We haven't set the price yet. I'm not really sure. So it'll be comparable to, where we are with our other rentals.
How tall are they? Because I looked at this today, they have trouble sometimes getting park models through. That looks pretty tall on the back side.
So that's on a truck, huh?
Right.
That's just yeah.
Yeah, they know what our height restrictions are. Pretty strict in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
For
the 13.6.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be exciting.
We were doing some other research, and we're talking to Toby O'Rourke at KOA, and she said that one of the issues that they were concerned with, and it's along the lines of 70% of your business is return business, repeat business, okay? Frequency of business visits per year in the last couple of years, is that going up or down?
I would say it's gone down. I feel like guests are coming for a little bit of an extended time and not as frequently, like not every weekend like they used to.
Oh, that you had every weekenders.
Right.
Lots of them?
We would have our fair share of every weekends, but, I think the ability to book sites is, makes it a little bit difficult because we book 18 months out. So, if you're booking a year out, you might not be able to get in.
That was one of the industry issues about the number of trips that people are taking, where Bob and I were talking about this earlier, where they would take 4 or 5 trips a year. Now they might be taking 1 or 2 larger ones, but the frequency is less, but the room nights are the same.
Right, because we have more people camping, I think.
Yeah. Let me jump in here. I'm going to show the interview of Christine because she let the cat out of the bag on the cabins.
Okay.
All right. Good morning, and I've got Christine Daniels with us, and she wasn't able to make it tonight, but we wanted to make sure that we got a good video clip with you, Christine. Tell the folks a little bit about your role at Normandy Farms and kind of the family history, things that we were talking about.
Sure. So my name's Christine. I've been here full-time since 2000, although my history working starts much younger. I think my first job was working the popcorn counter when I was definitely under the legal age of working. But so I've been in this role for about 25 years, and it evolved from a marketing position to more of a managerial position. And I'm a member of the 8th generation, as is my sister Marcia. So we have a very long history of not only owning the land on which the campground operates, but operating the campground, which has been here since 1971. So my role really now is to oversee the various departments that we have, work with the management team that we have, and making sure that we're running the most efficient operation. And that really kind of covers all areas from efficiency with staffing and operations to making improvements with the different amenities that we offer our guests. It's really important to me to make sure that we're reinvesting in the park each year to keep our guests coming back year after year.
You talked about the guests earlier. Talk about the retention rate, which is incredible, and how you work around that.
Yeah, so we're very fortunate. We have such an amazing clientele. Our guests, we have about a 70% repeat guest. So it's pretty spectacular that year after year we're able to welcome back the same families. And now, where I've been here for so long, you have the grandfather, the son, and then their grandkids, and you get to see multi-generations really enjoying the park and carrying on the different traditions that each family has been able to enjoy here over the years. So that's been fabulous for us, and obviously from a marketing standpoint has been able to keep our budget intact in that way and reinvest in things like the amenities that we have. So each year we take a look at what is trending, what is going on in the industry, what our guests are looking for, and we do that through surveys. We do it through just conversations with guests and finding out what they're looking for and making sure that we're offering those. So for next year, for 2026, sneak preview, we're putting in several pickleball courts. And we know obviously pickleball is a huge thing. We do have pickleball currently, but we're expanding the offering so that we can really offer more in terms of pickleball lessons and tournaments and things like that. We're also putting in new, very modern cabins that I'm very excited. In fact, we had a management meeting this morning, and I just revealed to our team which style that we've decided to go with. So we're anticipating that those will be arriving sometime in February. So those will be available when we open April 1st for our guests to enjoy.
What's going to be unique about the cabins, Christine?
So these particular cabins are just uniquely designed. They're like an A-frame style. So, but which you would think of like, back in the 70s, like my parents' house is an A-frame style, but these are very modern. They mix the sort of modern feel with the camping vibe, if you will. So you have the wood on the ceiling, but you've got the traditional drywall and the high-end flooring, all the appliances throughout, the furniture, everything is just going to be super high-end. So when you think of glamping, these units will certainly come to mind.
That's fantastic. Look, I appreciate you taking the time this morning. I know you folks you're always busy. You may be closed, but
yeah, no, well, I appreciate you reaching out to us. We're so excited that, having just come off the Ojai conference
Right.
and having received the award, our management team is spectacular. Our guests are amazing. We're just really lucky to be in the spot that we're in. So,
Christine, thanks very much. I appreciate it. And we'll play this tonight. And along with Marcia giving us her first-hand opinion of what's going on. And we will talk about your awards also.
excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hey, Marcia,
Yeah.
what off season now? The gates are closed.
Mhm.
How many people are on staff right now versus peak July?
So right now we've got 15,
15,
and that'll be
wow.
pretty much our winter staff. And we had 140 peak in July.
Are many of the kids in Foxborough and Mansfield, is that their first job?
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
And we love it.
we talk about the quality of your management team and the quality of your employees, and it doesn't look like you have any trouble getting employees even for the summer. But you're the director of human resources, so that's right in your. I guess we can thank you for all those people. To talk about your role and how you're able to attract so many good people.
Well, the campground is so much more fun than Dunkin' Donuts or Stop and Shop. So we capitalize on that. We really do. Like, we've had job fairs. We haven't had to have them in the past few years because we've been so fortunate with our returning team. We have about a 90% return rate on those 140 team members that come back. So we have a very small openings of jobs. And the reason is our culture. Like, we've just got the greatest people working for us. Years ago, we adopted this, it's Patrick Lencioni. It's the ideal team member. And his philosophy is you hire team members that are hungry, humble, and smart. And we've done that. That's sort of the virtues and the values that we look at when we're hiring people. And since then, we've been able to kind of bring on siblings and parents and different generations. We have generations of kids working right now that their grandparents were seasonals way back in the 70s. A couple of families that are working for us. So we have the longevity with the team, just like we have the longevity with the guests.
When you talk about 90% retention on your workforce, especially in the summer, how many, when somebody comes to work for you, how many, if they come in high school, they probably work for you for 7 or 8 years.
Yes.
All the way through college.
All the way through college, and they get their first job, their first real job, and then they still work part-time sometimes, So we get them from 14 right through college. So we've got good 8 years of them.
What percent, do you know what percentage of that core 15 people, what percentage of them used to work in high school or college at Normandy Farms?
The managers?
Yeah.
There's only, I'd say there's four of the 10. So 40%.
That's not bad.
No.
That's not bad.
But that's the managers. I mean, we do have, and we've got, some of the team members that are looking to train, and if there's opening in management, they want to be in there. So.
Question to Pedro?
I got to sneeze.
You got to sneeze. Okay.
Just trying to be polite. I got to sneeze. I don't want to sneeze into the camera. But no, along those lines, I mean, everybody will tell you, every business owner will tell you that the biggest issue they have today is finding kids with the right attitude to work, where they have their cell phone with them and their allegiance is to their cell phone. And my guess is that with the work that they're doing with you guys, they can't have their phone there.
No, they can't.
Um,
And we have a box at each department where they keep it. They can keep it charged. They can use it on their break. But we do not allow cell phones while they're on duty. And everybody abides by it. I mean,
it's just a distraction.
it is a
Especially,
distraction.
if you're watching a lifeguard or a playground or anything like that, where the safety of the guest is, contingent upon you being alert.
Right.
That's an important factor.
Yeah, for sure.
What are the challenges in the industry on a national basis after you come back from the big conferences? What are people afraid of, and what are they looking forward to?
Okay, well, I think everyone's kind of tentative about the economy, really not knowing what's going on with that, tariffs, all of that. That's really created a lot of uncertainty. But what we're looking forward to is, camping is resilient. So it really doesn't, we just had that airfare, the airlines cutting back with the, government shutdown, but you could still go camping, So I think what we're looking forward to is just kind of keep doing what we're doing and just, keep investing in putting things into the campground that are going to want people to come back and see what's new. We have the whole farm area that we're redeveloping. And I'm surprised Chrissy didn't talk about that because that's her baby. She really wants to bring the farming back into the campground, and we're offering trail rides. We're working with our cousin across the street who has the Christmas tree farm, and they carved a path out through those woods. And we offer trail rides. Yeah, for the guests. We do pony rides. We do horsemanship classes. We've done floral arranging. I mean, we're doing different experiences that guests might not get, at other campgrounds. And we're bringing the history back to the park.
Yeah.
Are you getting adults without kids or grandkids?
Are we getting what? Adults without them?
Well, I guess there's probably surveys that you can figure out, but are people coming with 3 generations, or are they coming as adults without kids, then grandparents without grandkids? In other words, several years ago, Disney tried to promote the fact that you don't need your kids to come to Disney.
Right.
But my guess is that the campground industry is not necessarily 3 generations at once.
Well, we still do get 3 generations at once because we'll get the grandparents that will rent a cabin, the family that will have an RV, and they'll want to camp at the same time. So we do get generations camping, but I would say for the most part, our demographic has really changed from families with older children, teenagers, to families with younger children. We're seeing more like, 5 and under with their grandparents even, that kind of thing.
Pushing the stroller.
Yeah. Playing at the playgrounds.
Well, I think what we have right now, I think what we're going to see once we get into 2026, 2025 was kind of a leveling off year for the dealers. It didn't have the business that we thought we were going to have. But I think you're going to have kind of like a COVID reaction. I think people are just fed up with the airlines. John came from Italy, so he has to take an airplane to Italy. But people are just fed up with that whole process. And I think we're going to see another round in 2026, once we get into the shows and everything, of a lot more sales of RVs. So I think there'll be an uptick on that. You sell more RVs, you have more campers. And to your point, it is so resilient that people are going to go. They may not go as often. They may not go as far.
Well, you know what? Let me bring up another point, though, Marcia. You guys have positioned yourself very well to reach the audience that wants to go camping but doesn't own an RV.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you offer several different accommodations for those that drive-iners.
Right. Like anything from a safari tent, which is more basic, no bathroom, but we do have a really nice bathroom very close by, to, the yurts and now our A-frames, which, are more high end. And those are cozy cabins. Those are really popular. They have a bunk in the back, 4 bunks in the back, and families really like those. But there's price points for everybody. And there's, anywhere, that you can rent it for one night, or you could rent it for whatever.
How about European visitors?
We haven't seen as many this year. I think we this year we've seen just the close to home traveler for the most part, except in the fall we do have rallies. This fall we've had quite a few rallies come through where, Fantasy and GMC and some of those. We had the Grand Design Rally obviously earlier this year, but the rallies are pretty big coming through.
Do those turn into individual business after the big group comes and goes?
Yes, it depends on where the rally's coming from, but some of them are more local, so they would, they come back whenever they can.
That GMC one, that's an amazing group, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. We love to see all those old GMCs all parked, It's
all
pretty
down
cool.
by the pool.
Yeah,
Down
yes.
by the pool down there.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a break. We're having some Facebook problems on the other end, but I'm going to take a break and show Taylor, because one of the important things certainly is the first impression, especially with a first-time camper that's never been to Normandy Farms. And you've got an incredible reception center, and you got an incredible front desk manager.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Taylor Nutbrown from Normandy Farms. Everybody on the show tonight is from Normandy Farms. Some are in person, like Marcia, but Taylor, you're going to be video. So, I know you're the front desk manager, so I'd like you to talk about the customer experience at Normandy Farms, which it's legitimary. So I'll give you all the credit for that. But talk
Well, not
about
me.
talk about from the time that they come through the front door and what's it like at Normandy Farms.
Yeah, so I mean, we're like you said, legendary, but I'm only going into my fifth season now coming up. So I do put all of that credit on everyone that's come before me, but I'm blessed to be able to keep it going and keep challenging my team to continue that legacy. As soon as you come through the door, you're welcomed, you're greeted. We like to call our guests guests. You're part of our family. You're enjoying our park, but you're also visiting us as well, which we love. One of the things that I try to instill on my team members that are at the front desk is remembering guests' names, remembering who's coming in season after season, and remembering just little things about them as well. Their family members, why they're here. Are they here visiting guests that are in the park, or are they here visiting family members that live in the area? Are they here to visit Boston for the first time? That's always a really big one. We have a lot of international guests. Those are fun to be able to communicate with. We have a gal that speaks French. Love that she can speak to our Canadian guests that come in. I speak a little bit of German myself, so I can speak to any of our German guests that come in. Not as fluent as I used to be, but it is fun and I can whip that out every once in a while. It's just going above and beyond is what we instill in our team. We're always going that way.
I was talking to Christine earlier, and she said that 70% of your guests are returning guests. That's an amazing number for any business. So you must know a lot of them by name as soon as they come through the front door.
Oh yeah. Yes. And we have our favorites, of course. You always have your favorites that you love to see year after year, but I also like to add those new ones in there, the new guests that are coming in and being able to experience it for the first time, coming in with their newborns. Love that they can start a new family tradition and come every single season. I have a 5-year-old daughter. She loves being in the park. She loves to be able to experience Normandy Farms because it is a family atmosphere, which is amazing.
It is. And talk about the facilities in terms of the number of campsites and cabins and different types of amenities that you have for the guest.
Yeah, so we have over 400 RV sites. So we cater to RVs and motorhomes and pop-ups. We also have tent sites. We have that as well. For our rentals, we have cabins, we have safari tents, we have some cozy cabins that we added a couple seasons ago, as well as our yurts. There may be some new rentals coming in for the next season and maybe the season after that as well. So we're trying to cater to everyone. You don't have to have an RV to join us.
When your guests are in the park, there's so many amenities. It's almost hard to, count them all. and you're always adding new ones. But if you look back at this past season, what were, say, the top 2 or 3 things that people enjoy about Normandy Farms?
Our splash pad that we added this season was a big hit. We loved being able to add that for our little guests to enjoy and not have to worry. But there's also no age limit on that. So you could be 2 years old splashing around, or you could have your grandpa who's like 70 joining you there. That was a great addition this season, as well as we've updated some of our activities this season. We added a lot of foam parties. Those were a blast. We added extra wet and wild slides. Those were fun as well.
Fantastic. Taylor, I appreciate you taking time to tell us all about your job and how important it is in terms of greeting the guests. I can see the front desk behind you.
Wrong way.
It's quite expansive. Taylor, thank you very much.
Of course, thank you.
You know what I love about Taylor is she's just got that passion.
She's bubbly.
She is. She's so fun.
Marcia, about the amenities that you talk about, the new additions, to the best of my recollection, those are not additional fees. They're all part of the camping experience. So you're not nickel and diamond people.
No, and that's one of the things that we make sure we don't do is everything is included. You don't pay for anything extra when you come for any activities or any of that kind of thing. I wanted to mention, Taylor brought up a really good point about family, how we're a family campground and we treat everybody like they're coming into our backyard and they're staying with us. But family also, it's kind of like our staff too. Like our staff is like family. We have this really good group of work campers, and they're leaving the park for the season. They're coming back next year, but they're all gathering down in Louisiana during the wintertime. So it's just really fun to see the connections that are built at the campground that continue into like your everyday life. It's really cool.
How many work campers is a good point. How many work in addition to your staff? How many work campers do you employ?
We have 24 work campers, so 12 couples, and they'll come April 1st and they'll leave November 15th-ish, and they'll come back year after year.
Explain that for people that may not know what work campers are. Explain how important it is, especially in your industry.
Work campers are great because they'll come from all different backgrounds and bring a wide variety of experiences. So we'll use work campers for our general maintenance or rangers where they could have been an electrician or plumber or some kind of, background that's really helpful and useful. But most of the time they have family in the area that they want to see, grandchildren, things like that. And they'll work for us for the season, both the husband and the wife. And, obviously part of their compensation there is the campsite. They get to stay at the campground. And then, they get paid for the hours that they work. So it's a great partnership. We do a lot of fun things with the work campers. We have monthly gatherings. We do potlucks and pool party. And, we went to birthday. We went and raced cars at Supercharged with a group of them. That was fun.
Yep. Yeah. A lot of people don't realize that they work regular hours. They're not necessarily, they don't have to be working at the same time. They can work alternate shifts if it's a husband and wife type thing, but they're not working 24/7.
No, they're working anywhere between around 32 hours, 32 to 40 hours.
Of which they get paid. Yeah. In addition to their campsite.
Correct. In Massachusetts is $15, minimum wage. So that's the basic. That's what we have to pay our 14-year-olds that work in the store. So, you get people with experience, housekeeping and things like that. They're paid more.
Did you notice this year any change in the demographics? You just came back from Ojai. What are campgrounds saying about the demographics themselves?
They're seeing a lot of families, multi-generational families, and they're seeing a lot of minorities getting involved, in camping, which we hadn't seen a lot in years and years ago, but we're seeing more ethnic groups coming, together and camping, and, enjoying themselves where they didn't do that before, or we didn't see it before.
Yeah, the industry has certainly done much better in their outreach, especially with Go RVing and some of those programs.
Right.
Marcia, when I talked with Galen Bailey earlier this what is it now? The fall? Yeah. It was at the end of the summer. He said they lost a bit of the Canadian business, but they filled it right in with the Americans.
Absolutely.
Did you see a Canadian drop as well?
We did. And we reached out to all our Canadians that typically camp with us and just told them that we're here whenever they want to come back. But we didn't, as far as occupancy, we didn't see a difference. We just had more open sites for other people to book.
You think that'll come back?
I hope so. I don't know. I can't predict the future because I have no idea what's going to happen. But, we had such a good relationship with Canadian guests. You see it more in Maine, I think, in New Hampshire.
Yeah. Maine was
Old Orchard.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
Yeah. You do that.
Yeah.
So looking towards the future, we got a couple minutes left here. Looking towards the future, what are some of your plans that you're thinking about?
Well, I think you were let in on all of our secrets that are coming up.
Yes, we got all the secrets out for this year.
We got all the secrets.
Yeah.
I
want the secrets for next year. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what a challenge is with us that we're trying to figure out is e-bikes and scooters. That was a big topic of conversation down at the conference in Kentucky with a lot of campgrounds that are seeing the same thing.
Scooters.
Yeah. It's just,
It's
there's
crazy.
too many and
What are
they're
they-
not
they go
following
so
the
fast.
rules.
What are the
Yes.
Go so
insurance?
fast.
What are the insurance companies?
Yeah, because I saw them in Italy. They rent them, just like they rent the buses, the electric bikes in Boston.
Mhm.
Well, they do those scooters all over Italy.
Yeah.
And those guys, they dart through that traffic. And my wife said, we never saw an accident. But anyway, let me ask you this question.
Mhm.
How do you respond to this? Husband and wife have been camping for years, on weekends and that type of thing, because they're both still working.
Mhm.
And they say, when we retire, we want to own a campground and take it easy. Your response?
They have no idea. Have you met my father? And retirement and him, that's
How old's your dad?
80.
80. Holy
Mhm.
Moses.
And
Yeah.
and her mother
And he's-
and Doris just turned 80.
She
So
did.
I welcomed them into the club.
Yeah, and he was still out digging ditches when it was getting dark earlier today. So, if you want to be successful, you cannot think of a campground as a retirement job.
No.
It really isn't.
No, I agree. It's
Well,
they-
we
they
bumped
had
into
that-
a couple.
they had that lofty dream and then jump into it. And that's what again is so remarkable about Normandy Farms. You're always at the lead end of the technology, but you've sustained yourself through 54 years of business and built up this clientele. And how many more generations are working there? I think last time we talked to you, you had 10th and 11th.
10. Yeah,
10?
my granddaughter's the 10th generation. So, that's a lot of pressure,
Do you have a name badge yet?
What's the name of the gen?
No, does she have a name badge?
Oh, she does. Of course she does.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
That's so funny. But no, you know what?
Yeah.
When you grow up in it, it's not work. It's part of the fam. It's a way of life.
I don't feel like I go to work. I love what I do. We have our core values, our CLIP: cleanliness, loyalty, innovation, and passion. And passion is just exactly what we all have for this industry,
Always told my employees, if you got to get yourself out of bed in the morning and go to a job that you don't like,
Don't go.
quit and go to find jobs that you like. Before we close, went the whole hour without talking about these guys.
Oh, our four-legged friends. We're very dog friendly with our 2-acre dog park, and they're, Chrissy's got a lab, Cruz, and Sharon has a dog, Finn, and they're always in the office. They're at the rec lodge. Finn chases the geese. His job, he wears his little uniform.
He chases the geese.
So
the geese can do some damage.
They can.
Yep.
Yeah.
Have you tallied up what percentage of your guests show up with pests?
Oh, we keep track of the pets. I think pretty much every guest has at least one pet.
You
Pretty
kidding me?
What's the strangest pet that they've got?
We had potbelly pig here before, and they walked it on a leash.
How about snakes?
A pig.
No snakes. Well, we had a snake in the employee restroom at the office this summer. It came up through the drain in the bathroom. And so nobody would use the restroom, and we had to have housekeeping put a mesh filter underneath the drain. So it was just ridiculous, but it was a lot of fun.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Any closing questions, Mr. DePietro?
No, you know what? It's always fun going down there because you always see something new. And, I think the biggest change that I saw in the last few years is when we would be down with groups or on our own, where the tent used to be, you put that German lodge, whatever you want to call it. And then they did the same thing. I think it was the same people that they did it over at Pine Acres.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
The same one.
Yeah.
But
that's the beauty of this industry, is that we share, and it's all good.
That wasn't a $10,000 investment.
It was probably a little bit more than that.
Yeah, like 10 times that.
Yeah. One other area we didn't cover. What are you doing about destination trailers and park models themselves? Do you do any park models, and do you allow destination trailers? You must have seasonals that want destination trailers.
Right. No, our just because of our town code, everything has pretty strict regulations. What can be on the grounds as far as being on wheels and being mobile and not being enclosed. And we've got a really extensive seasonal contract.
Oh, that's really interesting, because you don't have all those porches built off.
Right.
At some of these seasonal places, they have buildings attached to you can't even see the RV.
The porches in the sunrooms are as large as the park model.
Exactly. And then you can't control what it looks like.
Yeah.
So
you know what? I never realized that, but there are some of them that you look and you say, holy Moses.
Mm-hmm.
They're, some pretty bad places.
Yeah.
All right, Marcia, I want to thank you very much. Any closing words for our fans who are also your fans?
Well, I just want to thank the both of you for giving us the opportunity just to talk about Normandy Farms. We're just excited to be, in the business and who we are. Right. We're excited about that. So it's all good. Yeah.
All right. We will see you down the road, and best wishes over the winter as you do all your plans and your changes, and a great 2026.
Sounds good, guys. We'll see you soon. Thanks so much for having us.
Have a great day, everybody.
You too.
This edition of RVing in New England was a presentation of the New England RV Dealers Association. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.